Today I'm going to be making some blueberry lemon pie bars, and there are 3 different sets of ingredients on the recipe. You have the ingredients for the crust, then you have the ingredients for the filling, and then you have the ingredients for a crumble that goes on top. So I am going to, in this video, I'm going to go over each section of ingredients as needed. So like, first of all, we're going to work on the crust, so I'm going to show you those ingredients. Then once we get to the filling, then I'll give you those ingredients. I plan to put this, the link to this recipe on my blog. So if you want to see written instructions, I know that's been an issue for years now on my channel, as people are like, where can I find this written? So I'm going to have, I'll have a link to this on my blog where you can go and click on it, and you will be able to see the entire thing and print it out yourself. So we're gonna work on the crust. The first thing you need to do is you need to, this is a cake pan, a 9 by 13 inch pan. You want to put parchment paper in it and then spray it with cooking spray. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You want 2 sticks of butter softened, 1 cup a half a cup of sugar, right here, half a cup of sugar, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, which we buy the Morton's coarse kosher salt, but I already have it measured out right here. So you want to, in your bowl, you want to take your butter, sugar, right here, your butter, and your sugar, and you beat these together until they're light and fluffy. I scraped the bowl down, so now you want to add your kosher salt and your flour until it's just combined. So that looks just combined to me, and it's like a powder. And Kevin has actually done this by hand before.
Yeah, it's kind of a cornmeal-y kind of texture.
Yeah, so there we go, get the bowl out. So you pour this into the bottom of your greased bowl. Now you want to press this into the bottom. These are going to be bars, so we're not going to go up the sides. It's going to be just on the bottom layer of the bar. And I will, I have clean fingers, so I plan on using my fingers. Get it back in the corner. So now we're going to put this in the oven. Like I said, it's 350 degrees, and we're going to put it in for 20 minutes, and we'll get started on the filling in just a second. So while our crust is in the oven baking, this is the ingredients you need for the filling. You need 2 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese, and I left this out to show you. I bought just the Meyer original. You need a half a cup of sugar, 1 large egg, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, the juice of 1 lemon, and 3 cups of blueberries. And I actually bought 2 of these. These are 1 pint, and so I used a whole container and like half of another one.
And let me mention about the lemon too. For the topping, for the crumble, you'll need the zest. So zest your lemon first, then cut it and get the juice.
Yeah, so you'll utilize the whole lemon, right, pretty much. Okay, so what you want to do first is you take your cream cheese and your sugar, and you want to mix these until it's creamy and there's no lumps at all. So it'll probably take a few minutes. So this is a creamy, it looks like frosting. So now you want to add your egg and mix that until it's incorporated. And then we'll add the rest. So now we can add our vanilla and the lemon, the juice, and the sour cream. Okay, all I did was take this off of the mixer, and you're going to fold in your blueberries. And I am still loving the Mason Cash bowls, by the way.
Check out Home Goods.
Yes. Sometimes Home Goods is hit and miss. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. You just have to...
Well, we didn't see them there for a couple weeks, and then we saw some this week.
Yeah, just a few days ago. So, okay. So those look like they're mixed in. So we're gonna move right in. Oh, I'm gonna set this aside. We're gonna move right into doing the crumble. So what you need is a half stick of melted butter, 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and this is the zest of that lemon that we were talking to you about earlier. So you're going to mix this all into a bowl. So I have a fork here, and I'm going to mix this together. And it should resemble wet sand. Yeah, I think I want to use a spoon for this because I can't get all that off the edges.
A big spoon?
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna set this aside and we're gonna wait until the crust comes out of the oven, and it has to cool off completely, and then we'll be back. This is the crust, and it is completely cooled. It took about maybe 15-20 minutes to cool. So now I have my mixtures here. I have my filling and my crumble. So I'm gonna take my filling and I'm going to pour it over the top. Spread this evenly over the entire top. Cover up the crust below. Take your crumble and you're gonna distribute that evenly over the top. And I'm thinking I'm gonna use my fingers, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's crumble. And so I am gonna use my fingers, and that way as I grab handfuls of it, I can just crumble it up with my fingers as I go, and then decide where I want it to land. This is going to go in the oven at the same temperature, 350. It's going to go in the oven for 40 minutes. And then I'll tell you what we're going to do when it comes out. This has been in the oven for 40 minutes now, and this is how it looks. So what we're going to do is you have to let it cool for 20 minutes at room temperature. So I'm just not going to touch it, 20 minutes. And then you refrigerate it until it's completely chilled, or for 2 hours. So after 20 minutes, I have this lid, this plastic lid that goes on this cake pan. I'm gonna cover it with that, and I'm gonna let it chill for 2 hours, and then we'll be back to try it. These have been in the refrigerator for 2 hours, but I want you all to learn from my mistakes. It did not say whether to cover them up or not, but since this came with the cake pan, I covered it up. But do you see how the condensation built up in there? So I would not cover them up. When you put them in the refrigerator, just put them in there and don't cover them up at all. So these are supposed to be bars. So I'm gonna lift this whole thing out and move it over. I have a cutting board under here. And yeah, see, there's even condensation on the inside of the pan. So, you know, when it tells you to take it out of the oven, it only has you leave it out for 20 minutes. And I don't think 20 minutes is a long time to get rid of that heat. So they're still warm when you put them in the refrigerator. So I think that's part of the issue there. So now you just cut them into bars. Turned out really well. It looks good. So Kevin and I will try these in just a second. Okay, so I cannot wait to try these.
Still got a little hint of warmness that one bite did. Maybe not.
You can really taste that lemon just from using the juice and the zest. You really get a lot of lemon flavor.
And it goes well with blueberry.
The recipe did not say how many bars you should get or how many calories they are or anything like that. It did not say that.
It's good. If you like blueberries, it's a really nice blueberry lemon kind of dessert. I like the crust. The crust is crispy. You know, it's not overly sweet either.
No.
Which is a good thing. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It almost reminds you of a little bit of a cheesecake. Just a little bit, the flavors do, because you get that cream cheese flavor.
I was going to say shortbread, but shortbread is usually buttery.
Yeah, this isn't really buttery.
And this isn't buttery, but that bottom crust reminds me a little bit of that. I like it a lot. And the blueberry is not like overpowering. Yeah, I would say you could do this with any kind of berry. I think it's delicious. I think it's very, very good. It turned out really well. I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, the only thing I would do different is don't cover it because, like I said, it was still warm. I felt the bottom of the pan, even though the direction said, let it cool for 20 minutes at room temperature, then put it in the fridge. I felt the bottom of the pan and it was still warm. So I think that's why the condensation built up in there.
It did, but you know what? It didn't affect the crunchiness of the top.
It
did. Top is still very
really
crunchy.
Didn't at all. I mean,
it could have.
It could have.
Yeah, I wouldn't cover it up. I would just leave it uncovered.
Right, but this is very good. I'm very, very pleased with it.
Very good recipe.
And if you had any kind of a blueberry drizzle or something like that, you could even add that if you wanted to. Yeah, you don't have to, but I do think it would be really good. So
ice cream.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to make this for yourself, I will put a link to where the location where you can click on it on my blog and you can find it and get written directions for yourself. So thanks for watching.